What's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. This is my Quebec Nordiques franchise mode here on NHL 17. And in this episode, we will begin the draft, but not before simming through the rest of the year. Now, originally, I was just going to sim up to June, but the Cleveland Monsters won their division, so I figured, why not? Let's just follow them. I also kind of really stacked them. We sent down Puljujärvi, Zach Hyman, and defensively, did we send anybody down? No, we didn't. But still, Puljujärvi and Hyman are there, and we'll hope that they can help out the team. We also sent Dubois back to junior, so maybe he'll get to enjoy some junior playoffs. I mean, why not? There's a chance he'll still get to play, technically. But yeah, let's go ahead and see how far the Monsters make it. Then we'll sim to the end of the playoffs and take a look at the stats, the awards, all that stuff. I am trying to hide the fact that I am so disappointed that we missed the playoffs, but I can't do that very well. A very disappointing way for us to end our season. And of course, we're going to have a pretty different roster next year. Antoine Vermette was a rental. Nick Holden is a free agent. Dennis Weidman's a free agent. So it is going to be difficult to see how this team really shapes up and if we want to make any further major changes. I mean, I think the biggest disappointment in the last half of that season was Matthew Tkachuk. Like, just his overall went up to an 88, for God's sake. And he wasn't delivering. So, I don't know. Like I said, the idea was growing pains, and maybe we tried to force it a little bit into us having playoff success. But, I don't know. I felt like we still could have made it. Cleveland beat the Chicago Wolves 3-1 in the first round. Every pop-up, just every pop-up that could possibly happen. I don't even care. Let's just scout the U.S. for 6 weeks. Scouting is fucking broken still anyway, so it's not like it matters. Let's see, though, here if Cleveland can come back. They've won 2 straight. It is now 2-2, and we're going to Game 7, and the Monsters are out in 7 games. Boy, we just can't win anything, can we? Over, a 100-point season for the Monsters in 76 games. And they go out in the second round to the Manitoba Moose. So that is certainly far from ideal. The question is, why is this taking so long to load? And that is because we have crowned a Stanley Cup champion in May. The San Jose Sharks win the Cup, and the Binghamton Senators have won the Calder Cup. So let's take a look there. But the San Jose Sharks get it done. They are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions. And we'll take a look at the playoff bracket to see just how they made it there. St. Louis over Winnipeg, Chicago over Dallas. So in the end, the Sharks had to beat the defending champion Blackhawks, and they swept them. And man, Ottawa was close to the double. Binghamton won the Calder Cup, and they almost beat the Sharks. They lose in 6. So an interesting race there. And of course, the Calder Cup goes to the Senators. They beat the Moose in 5 games. So pretty good year, but a pretty disappointing year, I'd say, overall for the Ottawa Senators franchise. We'll take a look at the awards and the player stats as well. The President's Trophy actually did go to the Blackhawks. They had another good year. The Art Ross goes to Patrick Kane. The Hart Trophy goes to Patrick Kane. The Norris goes to Erik Karlsson for the second year in a row. Patrick Kane gets the Lady Byng. Beauvillier wins the Calder. Conn Smythe to Martin Jones. Vezina to Lundqvist. Jennings to Crawford. Subban with the Masterton. Getzlaf to Selke. Ted Lindsay to Patrick Kane. And the Richard to Patrick Kane. So a hell of a year for Kane as he upends Ovechkin for the Rocket. Richard. In the AHL, did we take home an award? We actually didn't. I was thinking that the Monsters might have won their version of the President's Trophy. That went to the Tucson Roadrunners, as I hit the wrong button. Any player awards, though? Andrighetto taking home a lot of hardware. Anthony DeAngelo, Stolars, Andrighetto again, Chris Breen, and Anton Bibo. So no hardware, again, for this franchise, which is goddamn disappointing. It really is. We'll take a look at our team, though. Tyler Toffoli, our leading scorer. Obviously, he did most of his damage with LA. Wenberg with 57 points. But notice how many of these players did not play 82 games. Brendan Saad, 57 points. 47 points for Karlsson. He William Karlsson had more points than Matt Duchene. That is concerning. Lindholm with 40. Puljujärvi, 37. That's not too bad. Bjorkstrand, 35. Matthew Tkachuk only played 73 games. 31 points. He's an 89 overall, guys. 31 points. I can't pin it on just one person. He is a big reason as to why we did not make the playoffs. Pierre-Luc Dubois really struggled this year. And as you can see, we had a lot of players get some ice time at the NHL level. Moving over to the goaltenders, of course, it was Korpisalo leading the way. He finishes with a .913 save percentage, which isn't ideal, but pretty much what we would have had out of Bobrovsky anyway. Enroth ends up with a .908. He had a very good season for most of it, but really dropped off at the end. He played 21 games. Gustafsson played 1 game. He didn't do too well. And, of course, Ryan Miller played a single game before he was claimed on waivers by the Bruins. He didn't do too well either. Best save percentage in the league for a starting goalie. We know it went more than likely to Henrik Lundqvist, and indeed it did. We'll take a quick look as well at the points, and then we'll get into the draft. I want this to be a somewhat shorter episode. Remember, at the end of the draft, that will be the end of this episode, and we'll finish up the rest of the off-season from there, and that way you guys can get your input in on what we should do. Rookie skaters, we already know. Wow, rookie skaters were pretty disappointing this year. Mats Olsson actually had a chance.
A few moments later.
Decent season ticket drive. I'm happy that the fan happiness rating didn't dip as far as I thought it would have. I thought fans would have really been pissed off. We look at the draft lottery results. The Colorado Av. Oh my God. Are you serious? That's our... No, okay. Jesus Christ. I thought they won because of our pick, but the 11th pick was our pick. Holy shit. So Colorado ends up with 2 picks inside the top 11. But that is the draft order. Of course, we have LA's pick. They made the playoffs, so we are outside of those lottery picks. But still, we at least have a first-round pick from the Tyler Toffoli trade. Looking at retired players, we lose Dennis Weidman. He does retire. It's a shame he had to go out that way. Brad Stewart and Chris Kelly all retire. And let's see here. As far as the NHL goes, Daniel Sedin goes out as a Stanley Cup champion. That is awesome. Mike Ribeiro can just fuck off. Nobody's going to miss you. And we'll just scroll through the rest of the retired players. I'm not sure. Mikko Koivu goes down. Dennis Seidenberg. Danny Heatley retires as a free agent. It's a shame. We probably could have just played him anyway and kept him in Cleveland, and we probably would have made it just as far. Is that John Scott? John Scott retires. That is somebody else we should have signed for Cleveland. We just should have played him on the top line. I do need to check for goalies. Last year, no goalies retired. This year, is it going to be different? Or is it going to freeze my console? Hey, it didn't freeze my console. Good. Roberto Luongo goes down. Ryan Miller. Mike Smith retires at 36. Nicholas Backstrom. Dan Ellis and a couple of other familiar names, including Danny Austenberken. That is a hell of a name. Let's get into the draft now that we have seen the list of retired players. Trading block doesn't matter. I hope I didn't make the same mistake as last year with just having nothing but pick after pick or trade after trade coming because I have the pick option open. But let's see here. We will do the first round live, as I tend to do, and then we will segment it out a little bit for our first, or after the first pick. I'm just a frazzled mess today, and I'm still very disappointed. So let's take a look here at this draft. The number 1 overall pick was Fox, an elite defenseman. Elite player. Joe Veleno goes to Tampa. That's a steal. Bunch of elite players. We probably could have, I don't know if we should have looked at trading up in this draft, you know? I don't know if that would have made sense. There have been some good picks, though. Top 6, top 9s. So overall, it's been a good start to the draft. So let's see if we can fuck it up and take an absolute bust with the 25th overall pick. And we definitely have some options. Puninovs. And again, I can't use the fucking triggers to switch. We have Riley Sutter as an option. Nick Ralston. Nick Petrecki. Or Petrovicki. Maxim Loktionov. Chris Wengranowski. All right. Jaden Trainer. Ed Murphy. Do we take Eddie Murphy? And Alexander Novoseltsev are listed here. And that is the question. I'm tempted to go with one of the people that have high bottom 6 listed. Very tempted. And I guess appetizing is not the right word. Nick Ralston. He's a sniper. High bottom 6, which worked out for us in the last draft. That's what we're going to go with. I mean, I'm tempted. Or do we go with Riley Sutter? Do we go with Riley Sutter, who might work out, and he at least has a face? Oh, boy. I want to pick Sutter, but I'm going to go with my gut and pick Ralston. Nick Ralston, please be decent. Medium top 9. Okay, let's sim the next pick. If Sutter and Ed Murphy was low top 4 defense. Trainer goes. I want to see Sutter. Punanovs goes. Will somebody take Sutter? I'm going to have to scroll all the way back around to see if the Sharks took him. Son of a bitch. Nope, they took Novoseltsev. Will somebody draft Sutter? I mean, if they're avoiding him, that's probably a good sign. And thank Christ we avoided him. All right. Well, that's good for us then, isn't it? We have 1 pick in the second round, thanks to the trade with the LA Kings. I'll get you guys a look at how this shaped up for some other people. Some good picks, some good picks, some better than good picks. But then you get to our pick, 25th overall in the second round. We take Matthias Rodin, and he's low top 6. Our draft luck may just be back. Third round, we draft the American Gord Henry. He ends up being low top 9. Not terrible, considering some of the other picks, pretty much all the other picks before him, really started to drop off. Was there actually a great pick in this round so far? It's not. Well, there we go. You got Merritt for Tampa. So, yeah, that pick is looking even better than it originally looked. Now, guys, normally I'd show you everybody we picked, but the draft luck was a ruse. We ended up with a lot of AHL potential players, as did pretty much everybody, as the draft yet again continues to just dip. I mean, after like the second round of the first draft, it just plummets in terms of what is available. But we do have some people that may, make the AHL roster. Like we had Cade Jensen last year in the AHL. And I'm sure we'll see more guys like that as we go along. But let's take a look here. I believe the re-sign phase is open, which is good for us. Or do we have to sim a day? We have to sim a day. God damn it. Had a feeling. But it's weird. It doesn't tell you like, oh, the re-sign phase is now open, or does it? If it does, boy, don't I look like a fool. But let's advance a day, and then, yeah, it does say sim to re-sign phase, doesn't it? As I said, frazzled mess. Very depressed and disappointed at missing the playoffs. But let's get to this. We'll do the re-sign phase, and then I'll cut it off after this. That way you guys know who we are retaining and what we have to look to do. Jonas Enroth's going to be let go. He was decent for us this year, but we'll look at getting a different backup goalie. Same with Gustafsson. Odds are I don't think Oskar Dansk will be the starter. We might just give it to Kozanov. He should be ready to go. And we also drafted, I think I showed you guys, Helmerson. Low fringe starter goalie at 63 overall, so that's not a bad start. Defensively, we don't have any major names to sign, with the exception of Nick Holden, who I think is still, Jesus, he's looking for a lot of money. Oh, we will hold off on him. Because I might just let him go. Because Dylan Hetherington's an 82 overall. He's a lefty. He could fill in for Holden, and he's going to be cheaper. Yes, he is. He is going to be cheaper. And we could even swing this so that we have Dylan Hetherington for relatively cheap. I'll see if he'll accept the 1.6 for 3 years. And if he accepts that, Nick Holden's on his way out. We also have Michael Matheson. I forgot about him, who we, of course, claimed. He is willing to accept a two-way deal for 1 year. So I think I'll do that. I might as well. I mean, I don't think he'll progress too much. Cody Golubev we can let go of again. Mike Koska we can let go of again. Mark Alt was a depth player. I don't think we're going to sign Ralph Jarrett just yet. Cale Fleury's up to a 68, which is nice. That's a good improvement. Karpatsev is a defender we drafted, a low 7th D. We drafted a lot of defensemen, and as you can see, a lot of AHL top 2s. But hey, Max Faber is finally going. The 2 years is up. We are gone. We have an extra roster spot now, and of course, the space that comes along with it. Right wing's Bjorkstrand needs his first big deal, and it's probably a good thing that I did not look to sign Holden. We will see if he accepts 3.375. Elias Lindholm needs a deal. We really need him to bounce back in terms of morale. He is looking for the same thing, regardless of a 2 or 3 year deal, so we'll look to get him on a 3-year deal. Olsen's good. Brad Boys, you served Cleveland well. But you can go Fontaine, David Moss, clearing out the unneeded players. Cleveland will once again be very different. It'll just be whoever we can bring in. Gord Henry's a 64 starting off, and of course there's a mix of other players from last year. Let's see, left wing Sonny Milano needs a contract. It'll be interesting to see if he can make the NHL roster. We will sign him to that 1-year, 2-way deal, though. Chris Terry is on the way out. Nick Ralston, not bad, 65 overall starting. And then centers, Antoine Vermette can go. He was a rental. Josh Juris can go. Cody Hodgson can go. Chris Wagner and Max Reinhart can all go. We will look to re-sign William Karlsson, who had a pretty strong year. And he's actually not looking for as much as I thought he would. 3 years sounds alright. We'll see if he'll accept 2.5. And yeah, let's sim forward, see who accepts. We do have a decent bit of cap space, but we should be good to go. And I believe we're still going to have to deal with buyouts and penalties with like Clarkson and shit like that. So that's going to be a problem for quite a few years, but better than having him on our team. Elias Lindholm is signed. Karlsson is signed. Hetherington rejected because we lowballed him. Bjorkstrand, Milano, Matheson have all accepted. So I think we might let go of Nick Holden, which might not be the best thing. I know we gave up a decent bit for him, but that was the plan, was to have him here until we were good to go. So let's see, we have Holden and Hetherington. And that's the thing, Hetherington should be good to go. So let's see, I'll just give him what he wants for 3 years. I'll go 1.8. We'll lowball him. Yeah, or not lowball him, but we'll try to save a penny here or there. And I think, actually, you know what? We will wait officially until Hetherington resigns to let go of Nick Holden. But and like I said, the defense is definitely going to be different. It'll be interesting to see some of this player progression as well. And I'm not sure what we can really do in free agency. I will get you guys a look at the free agent list. And who knows? I don't know. I'm tempted to almost just finish the season, or to finish the offseason, but I do want to give you guys an opportunity to have your input. I'm going to let go of Nick Holden. Good defenseman, but Hetherington's ready, and we will give him that spot on the third pairing. So we are good to go. Let's sim to free agency here. We'll see who is available. We'll see our cap space. We know we have contracts. We know we can sign veterans to cheap deals in the AHL. I'll do the same thing off screen like I did last year just to get the Cleveland Monsters set. But let's see. I mean, I don't really think we really need anything, I mean, let's see who's here for free agents, though. Oh, boy. Marc-Edouard Vlasic is available. He would beat the hell out of Hampus Lindholm, and he would beat the hell out of Carl Alsner. I don't know, guys. Maybe we should go for Marc-Edouard Vlasic. Could you imagine a Vlasic, Seth Jones top pairing, and we just trade away Carl Alsner and have Hampus Lindholm and David Savard as the second pairing? That is interesting. Let me know what you guys think. I saw Darnell Nurse, but he is restricted. I'll actually take a look at the restricted free agents really quick, just so you guys know who we probably won't be able to go for. I mean, some of these guys maybe, like Darnell Nurse, maybe. Like, I don't know if we could sign him for cheap enough. He's also a lefty, so he could be competition for Hetherington. But overall, I don't really see anybody there. But the big named UFA is Marc-Edouard Vlasic. Do we have any good potential guys? Derek Forbort's, he's 26. As far as potential guys go, is this Jamel Smith? It's Giovanni Smith. He's somebody we could definitely look at. So there are options. This could be a pretty decent free agency period for us. Let me know what you think. What should we do? You guys pretty much know the team at this point. It's going to be the same as last year for the most part. Should we go after Marc-Edouard Vlasic? Let me know down in the comments below. That will wrap it up for this episode. I'm not even going to do my normal outro. You know what I always say. I will see you guys in the next one, where we will set up this team for Season 3 and hopefully an eventual playoff push.